This show is brought to you in part by Axiom Printing. Axiom Office Imaging is Western New York's award-winning local leader in document solutions. www.axiomoffice.com. This show is also brought to you by Chapel Sound. PA Systems and expert sound technologists for all your sound needs. Outdoors, indoors, lectures, or music, serving the New York State Southern Tier and Northwest Pennsylvania. You do it, we make it sound good. 814-688-8089. And the Jamestown Gazette, a hometown paper building a sense of community and pride by providing residents and businesses with positive stories and timely information that spotlights local citizens, organizations, and businesses cooperating and working together.
Welcome to Rolling Hills Radio. Join us for an hour of conversation and music from Shawbucks in Jamestown, New York. Tonight's guests are Steve Piper and the Moonshine Rhythm Club. Now please welcome our host, Ken Hardley.
Sometimes they ask me, am I really happy now? And I say, sure, I never loved her anyhow. But inside I long for you and the way it used to be. I look around and there's a heartache following me. I always said I was willing to let you go. I'd even act like I never cared at all. But your memory lingers on, and I'm never really free. I look around, and there's a heartache following me. Upon my ring and everything are tightening to the past. I say I never loved her, never meant for it to last. But I know it's just a game and the loser's always me. I look around and there's a heartache following me. Sometimes they ask me, am I really happy now? And I say, sure, I never loved her anyhow. But inside I long for you and the way it used to be. I look around, there's a heartache following me. I look around and there's a heartache following me.
program is made possible by listeners like you. For information on how you can be part of the live radio audience or support live radio, write to info@kenhardley.com. Rolling Hills Radio is sponsored by the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce, supporting economic, workforce, and tourism development in Chautauqua County. Visit them online at chautauquachamber.org. This show is brought to you as well by the Cherry Lounge. The Cherry Lounge is a full-service bar and restaurant located in the heart of downtown Jamestown at 326 Cherry Street. Find them on Facebook at the Cherry Lounge.
Thank you, Julia Cecil Hanley. Welcome to Rolling Hills Radio, brought to you from Shawbucks, the club concert venue nestled in the heart of the entertainment district of Jamestown, New York. On Rolling Hills Radio, you will hear grassroots Americana music from a wide range of genres. This episode will feature an outstanding artist rooted in the singer-songwriter tradition, as well as our first band, a group of musicians who bring new energy to the swing and jazz music of the 1930s and 40s, adapting big band, gypsy jazz, and more into their own hard-driving yet sensitive acoustic sound. Please welcome, with My Blue Heaven, the Moonshine Rhythm Club to the Rolling Hills Radio stage.
When whippoorwills call and evening is nigh, I hurry to my blue heaven. A step to the left, a little white light will lead you to my blue heaven. A one face, a warm embrace, a cozy room, a little nest that's nestled where the roses bloom. Just Molly and me, ooh, and the baby makes three. We're happy in my blue heaven. A smiling face, a warm embrace, a cozy room, a little nest that's nestled where the roses bloom. Just Molly and me, and the baby makes three. We're happy in we're happy in so happy in my blue heaven.
The Moonshine Rhythm Club. How about that? Well, let me take a minute to introduce the band. Over there, he sang that song and played some great guitar, Josh Irwin. And on the bass, on the lower tones, Tom Aldman. Right here, guitar and looking good, Eddie Rutland. Yeah. Right by me here on the trumpet, Billy Jewell. Now, Billy, I heard you two guys playing a lead together. You and Josh. You played harmonies or something, right? Tell me about that.
Yes, that's right. Well, Josh kind of acts like another horn player because we don't got another horn player. So we kind of do that together.
Yeah. So you have to plan that out and arrange and to make sure the harmonies are right and all that stuff. Must take a lot of practice. Yeah, good. Yeah, excellent. So now you guys started off as a jazz band. Do I have that right? You played kind of jazz, and you decided to take a turn towards swing. How did that happen?
Well, basically, we started the group out kind of in the gypsy jazz idiom, and we all kind of like the music of Django Reinhardt. So we got together, started jamming on some tunes after we kind of met. Some of us had been going to school together. Some of us had just moved to Nashville and kind of got together, and it started in a jam band kind of situation.
Yeah.
And as we started finding our sound, we sort of started relaxing and really getting into the kind of American swing, Count Basie, Benny Goodman, Artie Shaw kind of feel. So
That's amazing stuff. And now, gypsy jazz, big band, are they kind of related? Tell me about that.
I would definitely say that they're related. Gypsy jazz was a genre created by a man named Django Reinhardt, and basically he had a bunch of stringed instruments like guitars and violins and upright basses and so forth, and essentially he went in and was trying to recreate the music that was happening in America, with the big bands like Count Basie and so forth.
Oh, he was, yeah.
With these other instruments, so he got a little bit smaller group.
Okay, and played with a great fiddle player, Stefan Grappelli.
That's right.
Yeah, and then you guys kind of Americanized it. And you arranged songs to your instrumentation that were big band songs, right?
That's exactly right.
And we'll talk more about that in the second half of the show. But now you have a song called Sweet Sue, and if I have this right, this song might be like 100 years old.
That's right.
Like older
That's
than
right.
I am.
Django recorded it himself.
Yeah. Well, let's hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, with the Sweet Sue, the Moonshine Rhythm Club.
Well, every star above knows the one I love, Sweet Sue, just you. And every moon on high knows the reason why, Sweet Sue, just you. Well, everyone else it seems ever shares my dreams, and without you dear, don't know what I'd do. And in this heart of mine, you live all the time, Sweet Sue, just you. every star above knows the one I love, sweet Sue. Just you, and every moon on high knows the reason why. Oh, Sue, just you. No one else, it seems, ever shares my dreams. And without you there, I don't know what I'd do. But in this heart of mine, you live all the time. Sweet Sue, just you.
Moonshine Rhythm Club. Eddie Rutland on vocals. How about that? It's Moonshine Rhythm Club. You find out more about them on moonshinerhythmclub.com. Well, now we have a singer-songwriter who not only writes and performs solo, but has also remained very involved in creating and performing with many other artists. Esteemed entertainment writer Jeff Spivak lauds his, quote, lilting ballads and crisply played acoustic instruments. Please welcome Steve Piper back to the Rolling Hills Radio stage.
I love to listen to the sad old songs, shed a tear and then we sing along. They never get old. They never get old. Oh, well, they never get old. Telling stories with my poet friends. Do I believe them? Well, that all depends. But they never get old. They never get old. Oh, well, they never get old. The river carries us around the bend, and that's a story hasn't got no end. It never gets old. The river keeps on flowing. Oh, so it'll never get old. I know there's troubles and there's bills to pay. I wasn't born yesterday. Now you're showing just a touch of gray, but there's a twinkle in your eye. Mystery wind blowing through my mind. The moon and sun and all the stars behind look like silver and gold, like you could reach out and hold them. Oh, they look like silver and gold. Now summer's leaving, winter's blowing in. But come the spring, this world is born again, so it'll never be old. This world could never be old. Oh, it never gets old. Well, it never gets old. Thank you.
Steve Piper. Great stuff. Great stuff. Now, Steve, I know that you're a fan of 1960s folk music, and that your music has been very influenced by that. Does that music still speak to you today, and how does it speak to your
Sure.
audience?
It does. And where were we watching Tom Paxton just in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, we were.
Can't remember where I've been, but it was a nice place. And Tom Paxton, who is coming here, as you may know, the last thing on my mind, Ramblin' Boy, songs like that, that are just simple and so emotional and beautiful. That stuff still gets me. It's when I started playing guitar, that music was around, and the best of it, stuck with me.
Sometimes known as the great folk scare of the 60s.
Yeah, which I never really quite got. I wasn't that scared. I was scared of other things. But I was scared of school and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, the Kingston Trio. Who could be scared of
That's correct. And one of my favorite members of the Kingston Trio, that's a strange thing to say. One of my favorite members of these three people was a man named John Stewart, who joined them later, and he was a fantastic singer and songwriter, too.
He was. He wrote songs for the Monkees.
He wrote Daydream Believer, which I think allowed him to do kind of whatever he wanted from then on.
So you really took that music close to your heart, and you kind of grew up with it, and it's easy to see that in your music today. But as well, you have some very interesting chord changes. You do some amazing things on the guitar.
Those are mistakes.
Oh.
Give me a break. Well, that's the influence of the Beatles, probably. I mean, when you
say George Harrison.
George Harrison, yes, George Harrison. Demonstration. George Harrison called those the naughty chords.
The naughty chords.
Naughty chords, yes, naughty. No K, naughty, N-A-U-G-H-T-Y. Yes.
Yeah.
What was the question?
And you have, you're a solo artist, you have several solo CDs out, but at the same time, you are one of those guys who is really in demand as what we call in the music business, a sideman. You're so good on guitar, you also play ukulele and things like that. People like Glenn Campbell, David Bromberg, Vince Gill are so good at their instruments that people call them to, please play on my album. And for example, Glenn Campbell was, a member of the Beach Boys for a while, playing stuff like that. And the same thing happens to you. I mean, the Beach Boys haven't called yet, right? But
I haven't checked my phone.
yeah, you might want to do that. But often you'll see Steve. He plays solo performances, but also sits in with other people in the studio.
For instance,
yeah.
the Moose Club. I was an honorary moose for a short time.
There's that.
It's hard work, by the way. The feed is not as flavorful as you would like. Moose.
Right. Okay, you've got another song for us, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Since you mentioned. A very brief story. I was sitting in the front. That's the end. All right. Well, I'll cut to this is a song I introduced that it's the kind of song where if you're older, you can turn to the person next to you and go, "Hey, how are you doing?" and just keep your smile because you don't remember their name, but you try to be friendly, and you can sing along if you like. Don't I know you? Your face is so familiar. I'd call you by your name if I only could. Maybe last week we saw each other somewhere, but probably I am wrong, 'cause my memory's not so good. It's a good thing that all men are brothers. You remind me of my sister I haven't seen in years. Here's a chorus if you want to sing along. Don't I know you? Your face is so familiar. I'd call you by your name if I only could. Are you on TV? Have I seen you at the movies? I'm feeling somewhat lost. I know you'd help me if you could. Or were we lovers in some other lifetime? Things just didn't work out like we hoped they would. It's a good thing that we are here together and that we have each other so we don't feel so alone. Once more, don't I know you? Your face is so familiar. I'd call you by your name if I only could. If I only could. If I only could. What's your name? Bill. Ralph.
That was Steve Piper.
Thank you.
Find out more about him at stevepipermusic.com. We'll be back after the break with more beautiful music from Steve Piper, swing from the Moonshine Rhythm Club, and conversation about very interesting topics.
You are listening to Rolling Hills Radio, episode 68. If you would like to be part of our live radio audience, log on to chautauquachamber.org to purchase tickets. We'll be back after the break with more from the Moonshine Rhythm Club and Steve Piper.
It's intermission time. We'll be back shortly.
The second half of our show begins in just a minute. Rolling Hills Radio was brought to you in part by the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce, supporting economic, workforce, and tourism development in Chautauqua County. If you would like to be included on the Rolling Hills email distribution list, send your email address to info@kenhardley.com. You can also find Rolling Hills Radio on Facebook or at rollinghillsradio.org. And now, back to Rolling Hills Radio.
Thank you, Julia Cecil Hanley. We have lots more to go here from Shawbucks in Jamestown, New York. We'd like to welcome our newest affiliate, Access Channel 5, broadcasting from Mayville, New York. Rolling Hills Radio is accessible to the public on low-power radio, local access cable, and other non-commercial outlets. It is important, maybe more important than ever, that the arts are readily and affordably available. And we're always vigilant for ways to assure that this music reaches its public. That means the show can be found in places that are other than mainstream. Getting out of the mainstream of the mass media means that you will hear things that you may have never imagined, specialized information, unusual viewpoints, and esoteric facts. For example, I was listening to my low-power radio station the other day, WRFA, and found out that in Tokyo, you can buy a toupee for your dog. Which might explain why so many dogs in Japan look like William Shatner. Well, Moonshine Rhythm Club is about to play another song for us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the Rolling Hills Radio stage, Moonshine Rhythm Club.
unforgettable in every way. And forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Unforgettable in every way. And forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable
Billy Joel on the vocals. The Moonshine Rhythm Club. That was beautiful stuff. Very beautiful. Now, for those of you listening on the radio, these are four pretty young guys here. And, this music maybe is ageless. Who comes to see you guys? Tell me about your demographic.
Well, oftentimes we get folks of all ages. We play oftentimes for swing dances. We might play at a brewery or a bar such as this. We might play in a theater. Might play at a wedding. We're at a variety of places, and so I feel like in that regard we tend to have audiences both young and old.
Okay, yeah, sure. Now, this kind of music is actually fairly technically demanding. If you're listening to, if you're listening to Tom on the bass, if you're listening to, Josh on the guitar, these guys didn't just fall off the turnip truck. So tell me, do you learn the music from charts? Did you learn by ear? Tell me about that, Tom.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the situation. Sometimes a song will have a chart for it, but a lot of times with this kind of music, you really learn it correctly if you just listen to the records and listen to some of the great musicians from back in the day and how they used to play it.
Yeah.
And then you can draw from that and then use your own flair as well.
Okay, okay. Do you have a particular bass player that you like to model your bass playing after back in the day?
I really like Ray Brown. He's probably one of my favorites.
Ray Brown. Who did he play with?
Oh, Oscar Peterson Trio, you know.
Oh, that guy. Yikes. And now you play the trumpet, Billy, and what's that other thing there? It looks like a trumpet, but it's bigger and kind of misshapen.
That's a flugelhorn.
Flugelhorn, okay. Okay. And do you have a particular person that you model your playing after?
A lot of different people. I think Roy Eldridge is who I pull from a lot for this old stuff, and Louis Armstrong, of course. Yeah, but there's too many to name.
Okay, fair enough. And you guys have a series of EPs that you're putting out, if I got that right. One with Artie Shaw music, Benny Goodman. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's right. We basically started this project about a year ago called Spirits of Rhythm, where we go in and we take an artist, a composer, an influential musician of the jazz genre, and we basically take the songs and the things that they did that we really are inspired from, and we kind of take that and morph it into our own version, our version of their version, if you will. We've got those available online, and we've got one available here with us tonight.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's hear another song from these guys. Ladies and gentlemen, with Tiny's tempo, the Moonshine Rhythm Club. The Moonshine Rhythm Club. How about that? Let's get moonshinerhythmclub.com for more information, music, and all that stuff. Well, please help me welcome back to the Rolling Hills Radio stage, Mr. Steve Piper with September again.
Thank you, thank you. This is a seasonal song, I guess. It's pretty new, so I'd taken off my glasses to play it. I don't know why, but. Faded jean jacket, boots of darkened leather, come out of the closet with the change in the weather. It's September again. Sometimes I think about you when the air's getting colder, walking down the sidewalk with your hand on my shoulder. Hard kisses in doorways, hide away from the wind. Silk and denim, buttons undone, the warmth of your skin. Second guesses, but no second chances. The days are growing shorter, that's just the way that the dance is. When it's September again, faded jean jacket, boots of darkened leather, come out of the closet with the change in the weather. It's September again. Thank you.
Steve Piper. Beautiful stuff, Steve. Now, Steve is from Rochester, New York, and Rochester is one of those places that boasts a lot of musicians. It's a very musical town with people like, I don't know, the Mangione brothers, and Pat McGrath is from that area, Chuck Cataldo, Spyro Gyra. And one of the things, Scott Regan has an iconic radio show there, and Scott's in the center of this kind of activity where you guys write a song with the same title. Tell us about that. The first one, of course, was Don't Go Drinking on an Empty Heart.
Right. The short version of the story, which I'm incapable of, is, someone several years ago, Scott Regan, looked over the shoulder of Jeff Riles, who's a really good songwriter, and saw the title in his list of titles I've never written songs for, Don't Go Drinking on an Empty Heart. And, hey, that's kind of cool, I'm going to write a song. So the short version of the long story is that it ended up with like 25 people wrote songs with that title. So now, third year running, Sarah Jane Hendershot is a good friend of mine, and she's a singer, a wonderful singer. She sort of organizes the thing, and we come up with the title, and people submit songs with that title, and it turns into a concert. And the last one we were up to, I say we because I am the guitar player in the backup band. Up to pushing 300 people came to hear it. It's a really cool thing. This year's was How Did We Get Here, which is simple, but the things people did. All young people, 17 years old, 70 years old. It's really
So they
a great
all wrote a song entitled How Did We Get Here?
The songs were all obviously very different.
Well, how did that happen? So, yeah, so that kind of thing now in Rochester, of course, there's your generation, which is also my generation
There's
of
a few of
musicians.
us left.
But that, this is drawing in people of different generations, right?
Right.
Creating music together.
And different styles, very different styles. And Sarah, who's, again, the mastermind, and she's a very organized person, so I don't know anybody else like that that's organized, is working to branch out more and more across the community and the region. We'd love to get some young people. We'd like to get some rappers. We'd like to
Some
get
rappers,
all
yeah. That
kinds of
sounds like we'll have to keep in touch.
Yeah,
with that.
yeah,
You have
and-
another song for us now
Yeah.
called Blackbird, if I remember right, but
Yeah,
it's not that Blackbird.
Blackbird.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Piper.
Well, she used to love the game, and she used to love her wings, but now she loves the wind and the way the blackbirds sing. She's a storm cloud on the hill. She's a mountain in the spring. You'll hear her story in the wind, and the song the blackbirds sing. If you could hold her for a while, would you try and clip her wings? Well, it's just echoes in your mind. Makes you want to think these things, because the wind is wild and free. You don't care much for worldly things. Whatever is meant to be. Just listen to the blackbirds sing. Would you try and hold her down with white lies and golden rings? When you see we're only bound by the song the blackbird sings. Well, she used to love the game, and she used to love her wings, but now she loves the wind and the song the blackbirds sing. Now she loves the wind.
Steve Piper.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Piper. StevePiperMusic.com. Okay, we're going to do a song that was first written and published in 1938. It was performed by such jazz big band and swing artists as Ella Fitzgerald with Chick Webb, the Ames Brothers with Les Brown's orchestra, Al Hurt and Natalie Cole. We'll see what we can do with it now, all of us together. Let's see what happens here. First you say you do, and then you don't, and then you say you will, and then you won't. You're undecided now, so what are you gonna do?
Now you want to play, and then it's no. And when you say you'll stay, that's when you go. You're undecided now, so what are you gonna do?
Oh, I've been sitting on a fence and it doesn't make much sense, and you leave me in suspense and you know it. And you'll say that you'll return. When you don't, I really burn. Oh, you're messing with me and it's showing.
Well, if you got a heart and if you're kind, don't keep us apart. Make up your mind. You're undecided now, so what are you gonna do?
Well, I've been sitting on a fence and it doesn't make much sense, and you leave me in suspense and you know it. And then you'll say you'll return. When you don't, I really burn. Oh, you've been leaving me and it's showing. If you've got a heart and if you're kind, and keep us apart, make up your mind. You're undecided now, so what are you gonna do? You're undecided now, so what are you gonna do? You're undecided now, so what are you gonna do?
Oh, yeah. Hey. Well, Duke Ellington said, the most important thing I look for in a musician is whether he knows how to listen. You know, I first met Steve Piper years ago when he was actually auditioning for a part in a pre-existing band, and after playing along on a tune or two, Steve put his guitar in his lap and simply listened to the band for a while. And then he joined in again. He became a central part of that band for years to come. And we heard a brilliant example of musicians listening to each other tonight with the Moonshine Rhythm Club. Whether a musician plays in a band or plays alone, first-rate musicians listen to their surroundings. What is going on in the world? As always, art imitates life. When you make listening an activity, you are tuned into the world. You might find yourself in concert with humanity in a deeper way. So please do listen to and support the people that bring the celebration of real humanity right to your town. Hard-working musicians like Steve Piper and the Moonshine Rhythm Club. I'm Ken Hardley. We'll see you next time on
Rolling Hills Radio!
You've been listening to Rolling Hills Radio, episode 68. Special thanks to Steve Piper and the Moonshine Rhythm Club. The Rolling Hills Radio cast and crew are swinging the cameras at Tomasini, assistant swinger Diamond Dickpool, assistant swinger's assistant Nancy McGuire, assistant swinger locator Drew Emmerling, decibels, frequencies, and other soundy things Steve Chappell, hurrying around Nicole Chappell, keeping an orderly environment Susan George, asking questions Kathy Krasinski, photographer for the rich and famous Lori Savory. I'm Julia Cecil Hanley, and I say important things. Please join us next time on Rolling Hills Radio.